You're coming with me?
Yeah.
Oh, exciting.
That's cool. So that was the little conversation. It's either got to be up or down because you're going to knock this away. Like that. Walking through it.
Dog life.
Dog life. That little conversation then was Eden saying she's going to go with Hannah this morning and fill in for Levi with his slightly sore ankles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Levi is growing, and we were bombing around in the woods a little bit yesterday in a new place we've not been before. Be careful with him, please. He keeps knocking this. And yeah, his ankle's a bit sore today, so just going to take it steady. So we're over this side of the room, which is actually I don't think we've not done a morning coffee from this perspective because the DJ stuff's still all out on the table. And all the DJ stuff.
All out.
I don't know. Some of you will obviously follow Hannah on Instagram, and she posted it across the Facebook usually, and did a thing the other day, a comparison between the girls' end of the room, which is we're in now. It's not that strict.
Not that strict.
I'm allowed down here, so it's Levi. You know, it's kind of sit anywhere you want, really. But we've got a longish lounge, and this end is the kind of girls' end. Was the girls' end the other evening because we had some music on and things, and that end is a special selection of wires, leads, methods of playing music through the two turntables, a laptop, iPad. It's all going off up there, and yeah, it's going to have to. It's going away today, so we can homeschool after doing a little mix for a competition. That Levi is quite adamant that I'm going to do really well in. I'm not so sure. So. Yeah, what we're talking about today. Well, I was going to talk about what was good last week, and it's a process I've been encouraging my guys in my fitness groups to do, which is look at 3 good things from last week and why they were good and how they came about, and then what are the focuses for this week. So I'm going to get Hannah involved in a second when she comes back after calming the dog down from his crazy morning antics. Good morning, Julie.
What am I involved with?
We're thinking about 3 good things from last week, so we can either have 3 each or just 3 that we think together. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go?
Lip reading, because I have no sound.
She's very skilled though, isn't she?
You are very skilled, Julie.
Yes, you are. Good morning, Pete. Pete's just come on to watch as well. There's no waving yet, but
3 things.
His icon at the top.
3 things I'm thankful for. Did you say? Or 3
well,
things
3 things
that
that were good last week. 3. Well, when I do the process with myself and the other guys to do it, it's 3 wins.
Right.
So 3 good things. It could be across the board. Anything. Health, fitness. Family.
Starting the Couch to 5K with Levi, we did 3 times, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
We went to do Couch to 5K, which we're actually going to be doing for the charity that I work for, which is Mercy UK. I've got to be honest, it didn't start out that way.
No.
We started out doing Couch to 5K, and now we've decided we're going to raise money.
A Mercy movement.
I don't know.
It's just that 2 have dovetailed together.
I think 2 have dovetailed together, but
quite a lot of people now involved with Mercy and support Mercy are going to do the same thing.
Yeah, so there's like going to be people all over the country doing Couch to 5K, all to raise money for Mercy UK. So me and Levi are doing that, but unfortunately he has got growing pains in his ankles, so Eden Joy is stepping into the breach.
I mean, she's going to be tired. Good morning, Pete. Thank you very much.
He meant me.
Oh. I thought he meant me. I mean, you're like, we're gym bros.
You're gym bros.
Kind of. I mean, I'm a bro. He's more like a dad. But
you're just a bro, man. Yeah, so that was my first one, is doing that 3 times with Levi last week. We had a really lovely time. And actually on Friday, LJ was feeling really rubbish when he woke up and didn't want to go at all. And he changed his attitude and shifted his atmosphere. And we had a beautiful time, so
that's really cool.
That was cool.
That's really good. And obviously now linking it to a really nice purpose to do it for.
And now we're linking it to a really good purpose, which is always an added kick up the backside when you don't want to get out of bed.
Keep you going. Right. So can I do one?
Yeah.
I'll do one. Where we live, we have a side area of land which our garage is overstating. We have a green metal shed, and there's a spare plot in between that and the next garage, and each house along the road has their own space. So we started to tidy that up on Saturday and cut back some of the kind of undergrowth that's on this kind of spare bit of land, and I actually really enjoyed doing it. Morning, Lizzie, couch to 5k. Yes, wouldn't be able to run without it. Lizzie, go do it.
Oh, in that case, when I get to week 3 and I can't cope, I'm going to be calling you for moral support.
Social distance.
So socially distanced.
Video running. They could run round
Yeah.
Rawdon, Eden Tarn, and you can run round our park and join up
So-
together.
so
So
go on.
clearing the thing. I actually love gardening. I used to do loads when I was a kid with mum
Goodness
and
me.
dad and my brother and sister, and we had quite a big garden when I was growing up because it was a corner plot of a semi-detached house. And these days there would have been extra house in there, but we ended up with a front garden, a side garden, and a back garden. And over time, you kind of graduated towards the area you wanted to take care of and took care of it.
Nice.
So that's why kind of love of gardening has come from.
Don't know what happened to it, but that's
Don't
great.
get to do it very often. I think actually, it's partly been over the years.
Cheers, Pete.
Over the years, I think because we lived in quite a few rented properties for a while, then you kind of almost develop an attitude of not the gardens of rented properties aren't usually that great
Yeah, that's true.
and low maintenance. So you kind of get out of the habit of doing extra stuff. You might just have to mow the lawn and cut the hedge every so often. But obviously now you girls, Eden's just gone to the sofa as well, have done an amazing job with the new board we've got at the back. And the fence is really cool that I built last year before when I built that. That's a good fence. That.
It's a very good fence.
Thank you. Like I often refer
Well
to
done, babe.
this
I'll give you a
actual
gold
garden,
star.
the actual garden outside is, a friend of mine, Paul, said, if you do a really good job, but it takes ages, Hannah will still appreciate it at the end. I mean,
Paul was so wrong.
so wrong. I mean, if it had been 2 years doing this garden, how it is to how it is now,
that's all good.
that would have been great.
Four pushed it over the edge.
4 years, and hopefully, little delivery this week, and I screw the final board down, and actually, it's going to look like you wanted it to look.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But the side part, morning Zoe, morning Dave. The side area has always been kind of like, it's actually turned into a bit of a dumping ground. Morning Harvey. I've tidied it up. We had a campfire thing. What do you call that?
I don't know. It's like a burner, but for trash, not like a nice burner that you have in the garden.
Yeah, originally got it for
We got it for the
Churches.
sleep out. So for a different charity I worked for in churches, we did a street sleep, and we got it for that. So it's that kind of thing.
Steady.
Not you, the dog.
He's coming back. Anyway, so that's been really cool. So that's 2. What a third one?
I don't know what's the third one.
I don't know. Can I do another one?
Yeah, you do another one.
So it's been a good weekend, and last night at 5 p.m, not 6 p.m, as I posted on a lot of social media, I did a Q&A in my training and coaching group online, and it covered lots of different bits and bats. And I really like talking about health and fitness and nutrition and well-being, and I can actually talk to no one about it. I'll talk to myself about it. I'd be quite happy. So doing that, and I did it to Facebook Live like we are now, and I did it onto Zoom as well. And that's something I really want to develop, because I think that's a great platform for interaction.
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier than this in terms of people can speak if they want to and all that sort of thing, and actually you can present really well on there if you share slides and share the whiteboard. And so that was really cool, and I was pretty hyper after doing it.
Yeah, he was wired. I was seriously thinking, like, how do I help his adrenaline levels come down?
It kind of did, but I was awake till about.
It didn't really.
It didn't come back.
You were very excited, but it was cool.
It was cool, yeah, I loved it.
And I think the other thing that is probably a win for you, but a win for me also, is that you've been doing all this research into hormones.
Yes.
And how kind of hormones affect your workout and your body composition and all of that kind of stuff, which I am probably going to reap the rewards of, because generally speaking, I'd say it's probably the woman that has more negative impacts or more things that need to be balanced with hormones.
Yeah.
So that's a win for both of us.
Yeah, I mean, guys, we've got it easy in a sense. We've just got to.
We've been saying that for years.
Yeah,
women have been saying that forever, man.
Probably, but not probably. No, it's true. Especially in terms of hormones, we've just got testosterone, and if we have a healthy lifestyle, train, and maintain pretty good nutrition, our testosterone levels stay elevated even into later life. Whereas ladies start hormone cycles in their teenage years and they carry on for maybe 40, 35, 40 years, and in that time the cycles can get in a bit of a mess. They're affected by life stress, affected by any some medical issues, having children, all that sort of thing. So I'm fascinated by it. I did do a talk on it last week in a different group, and just going over the basics and refreshing myself from what I used to teach when I was a science teacher. It fascinates me, and that was just kind of the practical side of it, and just the kind of knowledge side of it before we even start to apply it. And I think that's what I love, is taking something and applying it.
Knowledge and application.
Knowledge and application, and trying to explain it in a way that isn't coming from the point of, I did a biochemistry degree, not very well because I was DJing a lot at that stage in my life and doing a lot of sport and training. But I did do a biochemistry degree, but it's taking it, kind of bringing everything down from that to a level that I can explain, and also that other people can understand. And I really enjoyed that side of
regular
teaching.
Language instead of highfalutin language.
That's right. That is correct. So there'll be more bits and pieces of that coming out.
As common as can understand.
As common as can understand. Do you know what, that's I meant to tell you this last night. We were watching a TV show and I remembered something because we'd got some nice gin, hadn't we, this weekend?
Yeah.
Got some Greenall's gin, and this is the funny thing, and you're going to laugh at me now, because Hannah always jokes that I might sound a bit rough these days, and I've kind of taken on this little bit of persona of just one of the boys. But when I was growing up, so Greenall's is a major brewery and company in this country, going back centuries in a family. I actually knew
of course
Johnny
you
Greenall, who at that time was like kind of like son of the people running and owning the company. Probably no doubt runs the company now.
If people met us for the first time, they'd 100% think that I was the posh one. Okay.
Yeah.
So we used to work together at another charity. We work at charities a lot. Called TLG. Is it still called TLG?
It is. The Lighthouse Group.
TLG, the Lighthouse Group.
Educated.
And the kids there, so we worked with young people who were struggling with mainstream education, and the kids there would say to me like, "Oh, you're well posh, aren't you, miss? You're well posh." They didn't have to call me miss. I don't know why they did.
Come from the south.
And they'd ask me questions like, "How many bathrooms have you got?" Like somehow
that was funny.
At the time, we lived in a community house, so we had a lot of bathrooms, but they weren't all mine.
13 bathrooms at that stage, but not all ours.
And so they generally, if people meet us, they think, Mark's married a posh girl, and actually, it's really not the case. He was the one that
my upbringing
did
was
horse riding.
Definitely.
And first time I went to his mum's, we had Pimm's.
Middle class to aspiring up.
Hilarious.
It's funny. It is funny.
His poor mother.
What?
To deal with, she's brought up this lovely young man, and then he goes home with a skinhead and a tight t-shirt, and she must nearly have a heart attack.
Well, someone's got to look like they're protecting the family. Just put an earpiece in.
Your brother's in the army.
I know. I know. And my brother-in-law's in the Navy, and so.
That's just funny.
Yeah, it's just funny. So, I think kind of the conclusion of that is to say, however your week's been last week, is to look at those, find those things that have been good and been positive, and if they are things that you've been trying to kind of put in place, then I get my thought process is look at the why and the how, so it can become repeatable.
Yeah.
And if it's just good things, that's cool in the sense of don't have to put the why and how to everything, and then transferring that into this coming week as kind of what do you want to focus on. And I talk about habit stacking in my MW Fitness online group, and that is kind of taking what you've already done and just adding a little bit more to it, rather than going, I've got to start doing this brand new massive thing. Is just what's been good and how can I improve that a little bit, and then step by step you can make changes, whether it be health and fitness, nutrition, well-being, how your day works. And I know obviously things are a bit more up in the air at the moment and not quite running probably as they would or can or will do in the future, but in a sense it's a good time to practice these things when there's a little bit more space and freedom potentially in your life, time-wise particularly. So yeah, that's where we've been at, and you know, I do this kind of thinking process comes from 28-day daily focus that I have in my MW Fitness online group, and that's a bit of a rolling thing, and I have shared some of them, and as we get to the end of the 28 days coming up next week, I will probably share almost all of them, because then we'll go around another 28 days with another bunch of things. So if there's anything around what we've talked about today you want to know a little bit more about, we've probably we've got resources already. We've got these morning Chloe, we've got these talks, and some of these relate to some of the things, and then I've got graphics for every single day and little bits of video and stuff I've typed up. So yeah, anything about habits, I actually got a sheet for the whole reflecting, you know, so happy to share that as well. And on that, you know, that's why we do these things, is to say, how can we support you today? It doesn't have to be anything related to what we've just talked about, but health, fitness, well-being, homeschooling, that's back on the agenda this morning.
Yeah, it is.
After a little bit of we're doing a little slight different homeschool project this morning. I'm doing this DJ mix for a competition, and it requires doing a video to upload to YouTube. So we're going to have at least 2 camera technicians before they're allowed to start homeschool. So it's a homeschool project now. Oh yes. But then,
you can basically label anything a homeschool project, right? You can learn anything from most elements of life.
Yeah.
So if you just think, you're going to learn something, like what's the gold we can pull out of this?
Yeah.
And then we call it a homeschool project.
That's it.
Yay.
Like
That's
baking.
Baking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do ratios, quantities, all sorts of maths.
Have
How
a good
much is
day,
the
Chloe.
total? Yeah. Yeah, have a good day. And so I'll say asking how we can help, and if there's any support, anything we can help with, please send us a message, comment on here, and have a great day. It's not as bright as it has been, but that's you know, that our attitude to that is, you know, it's just a difference, isn't it?
It is.
It'd be nice if it was sunny.
Yeah, but do you know what? That is one of the reasons that our country is so beautifully green and lovely.
Yes.
Is that we get rain.
Yeah,
and
so that is true.
We'd all be sad if we didn't have such a beautiful green country. So
lush and green.
Lush and green.
That's another story for another time. Anyway, have a great day, guys. Have a great week, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
See ya.